Hello and welcome to another double reading wrap up. So I'm doing another 2 in 1, so September and October. I think this is an easier way to do it because of that slump I was in a few months ago, just to like combine it all. I don't know why, but it's making sense in my head, but I'm not sure if I'll do a November-December one because I don't know, I probably will because I'm actually enjoying doing a double reading wrap up more at the moment. But I must say, hello, welcome back. It's been a long time. This is the month, November, going into November now, that I'm going to start doing reading vlogs again. Touch wood. Honestly, this whole thing going on with this channel, I honestly didn't even know what I was doing really. So I just thought I'd scrap every single video that I was trying to make. And now I'm going to go into November fully fleshed out and into scratch. Also, I can't find my tripod, so I'm resting you on a little shelf here, and it is probably the worst background you've ever seen in your life. Enough about that. September and November, no, not November, September and October. So, these few months, as I say, have been weird, but September and October, especially October, have been the months that I'm back to reading. And actually, I have not been I've only read one fancy book, that being in September, which I'll tell you about first. And I think next November should be the month I get back in because I've got a lot of fancy books on my shelf to read. So that might be a video. Coming out in November. Anyway, let's get straight into it. September. I've got my wrap-up page here for you. I read 3 books, which, you know, pretty average, but I think September I was still behind on my reading goal. I read 1,352 pages. Now, pages, you can see, is quite low. I always try to aim for 2,000 or more, and the past few months I didn't do that, and I'm now 2,000 pages behind. See, this is going to be very difficult to catch up by the end of the year. We've got 2 months left, 2,000 pages behind. I don't know if I'll be able to do it, but again, that could be another video for the month of November that we try. But yeah, a bit annoying that we're behind on pages. But in September, my average rating for books was a 4.08 stars. Very, very specific, that one, and I don't really know why. All the books are fiction. Again, I haven't read a non-fiction book. I'm trying to do that. Oh, there's a fly. Killed the fly. And all 3 books had romance in it, not all being purely romance. 2 out of 3 were contemporary, 1 was fantasy, 1 had mystery in it, and 1 had sport in it. I'm going to go on to format and page number before I get into the actual books. 67% of the books I read were digital and 33% were physical printed books. Page numbers, 67% were from 300 to 499 pages and 33% were 500 or more. There we go. Now onto the specific books. The first one is the only fantasy book I've read in a long time, and that is Paladin's Grace by, what are they called? Let's see. T. Kingfisher, that's it, T. Kingfisher. Oh, it's right here. Wow, it's been a long time since I've held up a physical book. T. Kingfisher, yeah. So this book is not a very strong fantasy plot, I must say. The romance, again, not a strong plot either. But it's sort of a mix of both, like a weak plot of each. So it's sort of just a fiction book. Sorry about the sun, by the way. I read it at 3.25 stars, which isn't too bad. I'm sort of debating whether to carry on with the series. The next is Paladin's Strength, but I must say I did enjoy this author's writing. Oh, it's very yellow. Anyway, so yeah, I really did enjoy T. Kingfisher's writing. But like the book itself, the plot and the romance were a bit meh. I'd rather one be better than and one be worse than them both be meh, but that's just my opinion. And yeah, so that was pretty much the only fantasy book I've read in a long time. And now going back onto romance books, and I next read God of Ruin by Rena Kent. This one is number 3, I want to say, or 4, I don't know. We're getting near to the end of the series now. I think I've only got 2 books left as of now. So that might have been book 3 in the series, I don't know. I read it at 4.5. I honestly don't really remember it. But as I say, it's November now, so it was quite a while ago that I read this. But it must have been alright for me to rate it at 4.5. On to the next one, Rewind It Back. I finished off the Mile High series. Very, very good. I rated it at 4.5 as well. That one, such a good way to finish a series, I must say, because all the books are interconnected standalones, but at the end they all came together. The epilogue and everything, oh my god, I wanted to cry. I didn't actually cry. The only book I cried at in the series was Caught Up, but like, you know, I wanted to cry at the end. It was a very good ending, I must say. And yeah, now we're waiting for the next, like, there's going to be a whole new interconnected standalone series, I'm assuming, because she's going to make the coach's story. So it's like the manager and the coach. I don't really know. I remember them being mentioned in the last 2 books. So Play Along and Rewind It Back. They're mentioned. So I'm excited for that. Just for little glimpses here and there of the series. But yeah, I'm actually very sad that it's over. But it was so bingeable. I literally just had to get it finished. But yeah, that was September. We were getting back into the swing of it in September, but now here is where we get a bit crazy. So October, I must mention before we start, October, I did DNF 2 books. Golden Sun by Pierce Brown. That's like my 3rd attempt to reading that book now. But I don't even know why I tried to read it, knowing that I hadn't read a fantasy in ages. That was not the book to go back. And also Unsteady by, I don't know their name, but I don't know if I'll go back to that one. Again, it doesn't really matter, but what does matter is the fact that in October we read 6 books. Insane. Now that's the most books I've ever read in 1 month. The most I've ever read in 1 month is 5. That's been like my average. But 6 books, I must say I am back on for my book goal because of this month. I think I'm 1 book ahead now because of this month, but my pages is not the highest amount of pages. It is still good, which is 2,238. Forgot to mention the wrap-up pages on the screen. But yeah, very, very good. And I must say, I read every single book I listened to at the same time. So I either just listened, I don't think I ever did that, or I listened and read along, which I think I did that for every single book. And that made me read 57.75 hours worth of books. Now I must say, obviously, I didn't listen to that exact amount, but the books added it up to that because I sped it up, but I didn't count the sped up because obviously that's how Storygraph works. So if I read all these books on 2 times speed, it would actually mean like somewhere around 30 hours I listened to, but because it doesn't count that, it counts just normal speed of the audiobook, that is 57 hours, and I must say, wow. I'm really in my audiobook era. I've been listening on Audible and BookBeat, the combination of the both. Like, if I run out of a credit, I still have 20 hours over on BookBeat, and then by the time that's done, it's been really good. It's been a good little, like, momentum I've been in, but I'm going to try and go back to just reading it with my... Well, I was reading it, but I was also listening, so I'm going to try and, like, stop audiobooks, maybe if I want to, but I don't know, I've been quite enjoying that. But my average rating for books this month, October, has been 4, so lovely, simple, no decimal points anywhere in there, just a 4. And yes, so all the books were fiction again, I must mention that, and all 6 were romance or had romance in them, but yeah, they were all romance books. 3 out of the 6 were classified as contemporary, but I don't really know what makes a book contemporary, because I'd think all of these books were, but I don't know, I don't really know. So as I said again, 100% of the books were audio, and 100% of the books were 300 to 499 pages long. So, the first book I finished, was Forbidden River by Laura Pavlov. Didn't finish it. I carried on with the series. So here's where it gets a bit confusing. I read Forbidden River, rated it 4 stars, and then I tried to read something else, but then I was like too deep into the series where I couldn't read anything else. So what I did was went straight on to Beating Heart after I DNF'd this next book, Beating Heart. I rated it at 4.25. I did really enjoy this one. I think that one was up there as one of my favourites of the series. I think I read it in one day, if I'm not mistaken. Let me go back. No, I read it in 2 days. Sorry, I read the next one in one day. Finding Haze. I rated it 4 stars, but I read it in one day. So that shows you how into the series I was. But yeah, Finding Haze was the last book in the series, and I read it all in one day. Next, I went on to another book I DNF'd, but then I was like, you know what? I'm too into these romance series, so I went on to a new series, the Wales Ranch series, and the first one is Alive in Wales, and I rated this one at 4 stars. This series, I don't know where I found out about it, but I actually really enjoyed it. So the first one, 4 stars. Next one, Seeing Red, 3.75. I did like this one, but there was a pregnancy trope in it, and I wasn't a big fan of that. It was alright, but I think I figured out that that's not really something I enjoy in a book. But that's fine. The book was still alright enough for me to rate it at 3.75. And then next, I've got onto the most recent book. I think there are still more books to come, but the third and most caught-up book in this series is Change of Heart. And this was another 4 stars. So yeah, I literally have nailed out these series, and I found them very enjoyable, I must say. So yeah, these are all the books I read in September and October. And yeah, so that's the end. I've caught up on my reading diary. I literally have left this hanging for a few months, and literally right before this video I went through and updated the last 2-3 months. But you know, I'm back all caught up on this now, and I must say it's Sunday as I'm filming this. Tomorrow this video is coming out, and I think I'm going to start a new video tomorrow. That is the plan. So we're getting back into the swing of some content. But yeah, thanks so much for joining me on this September and October reading wrap up. As I say again, I'm not sure if I'll do a November-December wrap up. I think I probably will. But between then, I'm going to hopefully come out with a few reading vlogs, maybe a few challenges. But we'll see. And until then, I'll see you in the next one. Bye bye.